Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're watching episode 4 of season 5 of The Expanse. Welcome back to the channel. We are watching episode 4 of season 5 of The Expanse today, and after the last one, woo! I was filled with a little bit of hope only because of Naomi and Philip being on the same ship. I feel like he might get kind of overwhelmed with his mother's influence because she is like such a great character and she's filled with so much heart and empathy and sympathy. And there's so much that's good about Naomi that I feel like it will be a challenge, but it might also be good. It might be enough, just enough. Like, I'm sure she's going to work him like hardcore, but like, I feel like it might just be enough to make him look at Marco a little bit differently. If he can see his father as a murderer, as a terrorist, that the actions that they're doing is not good, I can only hope that that's what comes out of that. I don't think all of a sudden he's going to become a mama's boy and he's just going to be like, oh, my mom knows best. Like, I don't think that at all. But I hope that she has a slight positive influence on her son. And I don't know if her friends are against her or if they are like, well, we know that this is going to go down with Naomi, so we're going to help Philip do it, but like maybe the people that know and love her will have an influence on him as well. Even though the one lady, I didn't pick up her name, but she seemed to really have a chip on her shoulder about Naomi and not letting it go. And I hope that they can maybe work through that a little bit, but then also he could see the reason why these people loved her so much and the reason why his father loved her. Because obviously they had to have been in love at some point in order to have a child together. Naomi's not a dumb woman. She wouldn't do that with just anybody, right? So fingers crossed. Now, with Holden and Bull and Fred Johnson kind of figuring out the whodunit on Tycho Station, not only about Monica, but how far that extends, because now they're going to try to figure out who's coming to pick up this container and maybe trap them. I don't know. Like I said, I don't trust Bull, and maybe it's just because he's so negative about the Belters, calling them skinnies. In the way he speaks, I just don't see, like, ally is not the word that I think of when I think of Bull. I think of shit. That's what I think of. So I really interested on the whole Sherlock Holmes of the thing. I feel like Holden is on the job. I think that that's interesting that he is not in a proto-molecule position, but like kind of still involved with the proto-molecule, but it's not proto-molecule led. Like, it's not like Miller's in his head telling him to go which way. It's different. But now that Fred Johnson has this message from Drummer and then he sent it to Christian, I don't know where that's gonna go, and I'm excited for it. I would really like there to be a Fred Johnson Christian meetup. If there's not, whatever. But like, if it's like on my like bucket list of things I want to have happen in The Expanse, that would be great. I'd really like to see Dawes and Christian in the same room, but I don't think that that will ever happen. But I think that that would be interesting as fuck. We didn't get anything with Amos last episode, so I'm sure that we will catch up with him and the person he wanted to see. Anyway, we got Alex, a lot with Alex. I like that he was kind of being like a spy a little bit, like for Christian and for Bobby. It seemed like he kind of made a little bit of headway with Babbage, but then like she at the end got very suspicious of him, like why are you more interested in Solitaire? And then she tells him that we're going to be on this ship, and I don't know if the ship name is it the Barkeith? I don't know if that's right. But I feel like that could be a lie or that could be 100% the truth for him to discover something, to be involved. But I know the two people that assaulted him, very much he told them like, yeah, like we're here because of like the weapons that are being sold, and yeah, Bobby Draper's involved. And like I didn't notice his hand terminal was going and calling her, which was so smart. And then Bobby shows up and she handles business because she's Bobby. Yeah. Somebody else that handled business a little bit, in a very painful way was Drummer, getting the Tynan. getting it up and going, discovering Ashford's message and hearing that and digesting it, feeling it. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was pretty painful, but also I got the closure that I needed. But I don't, she says that it's about the money, it's not about revenge. And I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. I think of all the people that need to avenge Ashford, it would be Drummer. I need that. I need that. I need that. Like I have the closure of his death, but I need there to be some form of revenge. Now, I was proud of Drummer sending that message to Fred Johnson because she still trusts Fred, even though he was willing to sacrifice Belters. That his mindset's changed. It's a little bit more Dawes like, which I think Dawes is a little bit more Marco like. There's progression steps that you get to being a complete psychopath. Marco, Drummer, both terrifying. I wouldn't want to meet her in a dark hallway, depending on the circumstances. If she were mad at me, I don't want to meet her in a dark hallway, and I definitely would not want to meet Marco in a dark hallway. I feel like they both are very focused individuals. And I feel like whenever they focus on something, it kind of becomes uh not only great entertainment, but I feel like it becomes epic, and it's going to be epic. Now, the last episode, the asteroid hit Earth. That poor guy was just feeding the fish. Now he's toast. I don't know what the fallout will be of that. I don't think Nancy Gao is the right leader for the situation. I would love if she proves me wrong. I really do. I don't even know if Christian would be the right leader for the situation. Like I said, like I feel like Aaron Wright probably would have been the best person, which is crazy. But I don't know what a 1 to 4 megaton explosion looks like. I don't know what the missile that hit Earth in South America, like I don't know what that looked like. They said 13 kilometers. It's still a lot, even if it's less populated. And I do feel like that might have been the target of the first explosion. And which, like, if you think about like Marco is kind of hoping to get attention, I think, with that one, because there was so few casualties that it could happen in the location. But at the same time, you throw a rock at Earth. Earth has a lot of people that will respond. So I'm interested to see what the response will be because, again, Nancy Gao does not strike fear into the heart of me whatsoever. I highly doubt she'll strike fear into the heart of Marco. But I'm hoping that she consults Christian because Christian now has Fred Johnson's message. And Christian could just say, you know what, Nancy, I have been Earth first my whole life, but F you, we're going to the belt. Tycho Station is where I need to send any of my information. I highly doubt it because Christian has always been Earth first, but I would like for her to just be like, screw you, I'm out of here. Even if I only got 49% of the vote, fuck you people. It's harsh. But still, like when you're in this position, you could do that. Now, what is Bobby and Alex's next step? Because now they know that the Barkeith is kind of the ship to look at. Sauveterre is very suspect. Babbage is even more suspect, in my opinion. And she gave that kiss to Alex, which I don't know what that meant. Was it a like throwaway kind of thing, like, oh no, great date, or was it like, I like you? I don't think it was an I like you. Poor Alex needs an I like you from somebody because she's not getting it from anybody else. Even Bobby was mean to him when she first saw him when he came back to Mars. But what is the next step? Do they go to the Barkeith? Do they try to figure out what's going on? Is it a setup? Is it sabotage? I never like, oh, everything's gonna go just the way our characters say it. I don't think that for a second. What is Philip's next step? Now that he's on the ship, where's he going? Is he gonna go meet his dad? Oh God. I would hope that it's a long enough journey that he has enough time to talk to Naomi. But if it's straight to Marco, yikes. What's Holden and Fred Johnson and Bull's plan now? Is Monica going to be involved? Because she's like, "You need me," and I'm like, yeah. Like, if can she turn off her iMod, because that's creepy, so creepy. But like, it captured important information, like to help save her life. But still, like I feel like Monica is going to be very important to the whole find the proto molecule information, find Kodazar. The fact that he was taken is also terrifying. There's a lot going on, and I feel like it's all Marco related, and that might be like, kind of like the misdirection that they want me to think that it's Marco. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's Dawes. Maybe it's somebody else. Maybe it's somebody new. I feel like this season is very Marco focused. So that's who I'm looking at. I don't know if that cleared anything up, but those are my thoughts. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get into this reaction. The Pinot Grigio from the last reaction is still hitting, so I'm gonna go grab some caffeine, try to get that knocked out, and then let's get into it. Nadine Nicole. Great. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The screaming fire.
Bobby, there is a big difference between knowing something is possible and seeing it happening from your damn eyes.
It just means your eyes are open.
You spent 10 years in the Marines. Navy cost me 20 in my marriage. Now I find out it's all for a bunch of crooks.
Well, I doubt they were when you served, if that makes you feel any better.
How are you so fucking nonchalant about all this?
Heart's broken. She has to be.
I used to have a rat.
Not what I thought she would say.
An informer in your crew?
No, an actual pet rat when I was a kid. I named her Mouse.
Oh.
One day I woke up and Mouse was laying on her side panting, eyes glazed over. I sobbed for hours.
It's Mars.
And then I stopped. No matter how traumatic the loss is, you only have so much emotional stamina. Even grief can get used up.
Yep.
So we're building a coffin for our dying planet.
Yep.
I went through the exact same thing you're going through right now. And when you come out the other side of this, you're gonna want to be doing something that matters.
Hey, Bar Keith and the escort, they're increasing their break and burn.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna need to adjust our course if we want to keep them in our sights.
Copy that.
What a beautiful moment between those two. On the Razorback, the screaming firehawk. Ha ha!
All ships headed for Earth are advised to expect delays as UN traffic control clears patterns for vessels involved in emergency relief efforts.
Oh, they don't know.
It is unclear whether this is related to today's explosion on the Martian Parliament, which happened almost simultaneously.
There's an attack in the Martian Parliament? Here we go. Open mind, open heart, open mind, open heart.
For your own safety, you're required to follow the directives of any guard, corrections officer, or prison employee without hesitation or question. If you fail to comply, any guard, corrections officer, or prison employee is authorized to use any means necessary to ensure your safety and the safety of others. Do you understand and consent to these conditions?
Is Clarissa really this dangerous?
Yes. Bag.
This is Mercury.
Be careful with that.
Oh.
Welcome to the pit.
The shirt looks good on you, Amos. Sorry, I'm so thirsty for him. I'm so sorry. It might be tiring for y'all, but I am weird at all.
All right, Konachek, you know the drill.
What is that?
This blockhouses inmates with body modifications.
Can't you take out their mods?
Body privacy is in the Constitution. Some inmates get their mod surgically removed to get transferred above ground, but the surgeries can be dicey. For some, it's not an option.
I'm sure they don't have the best surgeons either.
He doesn't care if he stays down here.
That's nuts.
Yeah, well, so's Konachek.
Konachek. Gonna log that one away. He's crazy.
No exchange of goods of any sort. We'll be watching, so if at any point you feel threatened, just raise your hand. We'll be right there.
Feel threatened? Sure. Wonder if she's had a visitor in a while. This is so interesting.
Hey, Peaches.
Peaches.
You're not here.
Me, when I see him, is for the first time in the room with me.
I heard you were on another world. How was it?
Kind of liked it. First, wide open spaces.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, till everybody started shooting each other. Parasites began eating our eyeballs. And giant alien machines came out of the ground and exploded.
It must look like shit.
Yep.
It's the blockers from my mod. They said that surgery would be difficult, and life without it would be even less fun.
I'm sure. The location of that clicker? Mm-hmm.
Food through a slot in the door. Half-hour walk around the yard. Breathe in. Breathe out. Eat. Shit. Sleep. Take what they give.
And that's it.
Give nothing in return.
Yeah. Damn it! Oh god damn it! Am I feeling compassion?
Why are you here?
People like us, the things we do, it's not just on us. This world is messed up, and it can mess you up. I was lucky. I had somebody that helped me.
Did you come here to help me?
I guess I did.
You can't. No one can. Not every stain comes out.
Not every scar heals, but every wound typically does. Oh, Jesus.
I don't give a shit who he is with. I want you to pull Commander Lipson out of that meeting right now.
Ma'am, I'm not really sure that I can...
Shut the fuck up and listen to me. It wasn't a rogue asteroid strike. It was an attack. Fuck.
Come on, Delgado, help out.
Christian,
What?
the second rock just hit Earth.
Oh my god, a second one? Is it Chesapeake?
About 40 kilometers northwest of Philadelphia. And we've lost communication with New York. At least now they know it's an attack.
We need to contact the UN one.
Oh, come on, Nancy Go, don't be an asshole.
We're not going to Luna.
Nancy, the planet's under
And
attack.
I'm not abandoning it.
I get it, but
What the
damn
hell's
it.
going on with the asteroid spotters?
The Planetary Defense Command says it's possible the entire Sentinel system's been hacked.
Jesus.
It's not it. It's not it. Answer it. Damn it.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
We've been blackballed by our whole goddamn staff.
That's it. The staff.
What does that mean?
Casey,
Madam Avasarala.
listen to me.
Probably somebody she was kind to.
Ma'am, this is Chef Casey on UN1.
I know who I fucking called. You fattened me up for years with macarons.
Come on, Chef Casey.
Nancy, you have to listen to me, please.
God damn it!
Sir, I'm sorry she made me.
She made me.
Why would Mars?
It's not Mars. It's...
Marco and Aros.
Yes, and I can prove it. But right now, you have to trust me.
How many more are there?
I don't know, which is why you have to act immediately.
Come on, Nancy.
Recast the watchtowers and the sentinels. Just do it. Thank you. You may have just saved millions.
That's all that matters.
Billions.
I've always admired your persistence.
I prefer to think of it as perseverance.
I'll bet you do.
Oh no! Oh no! Does anyone know what to do now? I'm out of breath. The upside down, right side up, whatever, which way you're walking is so amazing on Tycho. I forget who the chick is with the little things coming at her head, but like, she's awesome.
Tycho, this is Mia. Here for pickup cargo.
So Monica is aware of what's going on. Kind of good, because she has like that investigative quality about her. She's very nosy.
We got problem with thruster control. Fixing now. Stand by.
I bet. It's gonna take out Tycho Station. They can't let it. Oh my god, they can't let it. Oh my god, don't let it.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, something's incredibly wrong.
Bull, get out of there. What are you talking about? Get everyone out of there now. It's a trap. Come on, go, go, go.
Oh,
They're firing at us.
Oh, I just said I liked you, you dumb bitch!
Revolt! We need medics!
You're afraid.
They're done?
Yeah, let's go.
I was worried about Bull and it was her the whole time. Oh my god. Somebody put your finger in the hole! Stop him from bleeding! Do not.
It's in my quarters. Stop them. Get him to gravity.
Please say Fred. Oh my god. I don't think they're gonna be able to say Fred. Holy shit! What is that? It says Savage on it. Makes me think of Adam Savage. Monica, hide. How did they know? He was sleeping above the proto molecule? No, 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 no!
We go here.
Can't believe I'm worried about Monica, of all people. Had sympathy for Monica and for fucking Clarissa in this episode. Did they use Savage Industries on that specifically because of Adam Savage? Because if they did. Good job, Monica! Yeah, same look I had on my face, Holden. Don't smash! Okay. Oh god, Monica. Oh god, Monica. Oh, Holden! Oh. Oh! Why am I still happy? Thank you, Monica! Grab Holden! Grab Holden! Oh, he needs to have his legs. He needs to have his legs. Okay. Mother God. Somebody punch her in the face again.
Too bad. So sad. It's gone. Gone for good. Bye-bye. You lose. You all lose.
You're lucky you're sitting in front of Holden.
He deserved to finish what he was building.
I just need to hear your voice and know that you're safe. Please call as soon as you can.
I forgot about Arjun.
No one seems to know who's next in line of succession.
What about the watchtowers?
The orders went out. They're being retasked. I'm sorry.
We did everything we could.
You did.
You did.
We don't know for certain if it could have been stopped.
I know I didn't fight hard enough. I know I was a coward.
Ouch.
Thank you for not disagreeing.
The fight is not over.
Just started. She's on the verge of tears. Hug her or give her a drink or something.
Misery loves company.
So does hope. A little trite, I know.
Delgado, I appreciate you. Oh God.
The watchtower's got a fix.
Explosion. Yeah, I'm not liking the assault that Earth is getting. Could have broke it open. Because of who? Christian Avasarala. Guess where that was gonna hit? Close to home. Hey, girl.
Where are you taking me? Tell me!
There.
To see Margot. I was really hoping they would have some sort of conversation, that they could talk, that she could have some influence on him. Oh, girl, I am so scared for you. Oh, God.
My son, you did it.
Oh,
We did it.
Naomi, I never imagined we'd be speaking face to face again.
If it had been up to me, we never would have.
It's good to see you again.
I trust nothing that he says.
No, Philip brought you here on his own. Believe me, when he told me what he'd done, I was as surprised as you. I thought Philip was a man, but I guess in some ways, he's still a little boy who needs his, mother. At least now that you're here, we as a family can celebrate the greatest victory in our people's history. Together.
Which is?
Now this, I did want to be a surprise.
Oh, God. Yeah. It's not a victory.
You did this?
It's everything we ever dreamed of.
You murdered millions. Innocent people.
I freed our people. We have taken back our place in this system and shown our oppressors a strength they never thought possible.
You put blood on our son's hands, just like you did to me.
He did not make me do anything. I was proud to do my part.
You were groomed.
Tracking scopes show
Berto's destroyed Tree Rock. Or the Tree Miss.
They missed.
One hit would have been our triumph. Two proved our tactical brilliance. But after three, the Inners will never perceive us as weak again.
Philip, escort your mother to her quarters.
Ooh.
Naomi. Welcome home.
It said, I don't like Marco and I don't like what he's doing, but I like Marco. I hate it that I like him.
My name is Marco Inaros. I am the commander of the Free Navy. And we are the ones responsible for striking our oppressors on Earth and Mars. This attack was retribution for generations of atrocities committed by the Inners against innocent Belters. The Free Navy now possesses the last remaining sample of the proto-molecule. Any transgressions by the Inners and the Free Navy will not hesitate to unleash the proto-molecule on either planet. The vacuum, the ring gates, and the ring worlds belong to the Belt, to Belters. Citizens of the Belt, Beratnas, rise up now. This day is ours. Tomorrow is ours. The future of humanity is ours. Today and forevermore, we are free.
So the name of the episode is, I think I'm saying it right when I say Gaugamela, which sometimes when I don't understand what an episode title means, I will look it up. And it was a fight that Alexander Great won. And I don't know if Marco is supposed to kind of symbolize Alexander the Great. That speech. A lot happened in this episode, like a lot. And while I don't think that I'll be a fan of Marco in the sense of that I believe that what he's doing is right, or that I agree with his methods, or the killing of millions, I think Keon Alexander is going to really show us somebody who is full of love and compassion and almost like a patriotism to the belt. That's something that you would love to have from a leader. But then I think he's also going to show those dark parts that you would not want from a leader necessarily. I'm sure that there's plenty of people that would like absolutely love that. Tyranny, authoritarian control, communism, fascism, all that stuff is not my jam. While I can have sympathy for the people who are in it and what their mindset is, when it comes to somebody who is like Marco, it's hard because he is very charismatic in the sense that, like, yes, he's easy on the eyes and that does not help. But also the way he is able to deliver a line, I feel like he could do a poetry reading and it would just be like perfection. You know, he could read out of the telephone book, and with the tone and the connotation and the cadence of his voice, I would 100% call one of those phone numbers. You know, it's very captivating. Marco is very captivating. And I can see why Naomi was with him. And like seeing them three together on one ship, I did not think episode 4 we'd get that. I thought it would be like maybe a couple episodes out, but I mean, that's a beautiful family. When he says, welcome home, boy, did that give a chill up my spine. I don't know how he still feels towards Naomi. He didn't seem mad to see her. He didn't seem happy to see her. I feel like he was maybe a little indifferent, but I think gloating was his number one thing. That, like, when he's like, oh, I couldn't wait to show you this surprise, is that he was like so excited to show her the destruction that he had caused. And you know, you have Philip saying like, hey, like, I wanted to do this. I mean, his father programmed him and groomed him into that position. Like, you just don't become somebody that's full of hate and rage. Like, that's made by the person that raised you. We know that in today's life, that, you know, like you don't learn hate. You don't learn to hate different races. It's instilled in you. You are taught to be that way. Through actions, through words, just even just being around people and them not really even acknowledging that you're there, but like they could be having a conversation with somebody else and you hear it and you pick up on it. And like, that's Philip, you know, radicalized probably from small conversations to the bigger the conversation got and the more involved he got, the more it just was like, this is his life. This is who he's going to be. This is what he's going to do. And then he truly believes that this is what he believes. I really thought that they were going to have time on a separate ship to talk. And I don't know if they're going to get to talk on this ship, the Pella, but I'm still very torn about Marco. Philip, I'm like, screw this kid. Even though I don't think that literally, like, I'm not like I don't care about him at all. But his mindset right now is not one where I'm like, I don't feel any sympathy for you. Like, if Naomi never talked to you again for the rest of her life, you deserved it. You know, if you died right now in space, you deserved it. But I think the more that they develop Philip for me, and the more I see him interact in a loving way, because like the embrace that he had with Marco, it was like father, son, like, I love you so much. Oh, good boy. Oh, I love you, dad. And I feel like we're going to get more of that relationship. And I'm going to be like, damn, like, that's amazing. But can I say, like, I know that like Marco is the main focus of this season. This episode was very much like Marco made all of this happen. And I'm not skipping over the important person that died or the important thing that was stolen. But can we just have a second that the Razorback was renamed the Screaming Firehawk? I've never been so happy to see that in my life, because I was just like that's what Alex wanted to name the Rossi in the first place. And I feel like I don't know if I heard this. I don't know if Cass like really pushed for the Razorback to be renamed that or something, because he was the one that kind of like spearheaded the Screaming Firehawks. But like the fact that like they had the Razorback and then it changed name to the Screaming Firehawk, oh my god, that lit up my fucking heart. I was so happy. I was more happy for you guys that you guys got to see it. I can't even only imagine when this episode aired, like the screaming at the TV you guys did. Like not everybody reacts like me, but I feel like certain things they probably did. Probably louder, grander, and greater than me. But I love that Bobby and Alex are on the ship. I love that they're on the Firehawk. I don't know if we're calling it the Firehawk or the Screaming Firehawk. If we're using the full name or if we're using that little piece, you guys let me know. But I love that they're on it together. Like, I loved when she was on it with Christian and I was like, what an unlikely pair. This pair on this ship, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Now, we didn't get anything after that. But we did get the story with Bobby and her rat, and I kind of loved how she associated it to like Mars, and that like the dream of Mars dying, and that like sometimes you have to let it go. And Alex kind of saying like, well, I wish somebody were there to do that for my son. Somebody is. Your ex-wife. But Bobby is there for you right now, you know, helping you through that, and it's a lot to digest. It takes a while for that to sink in. And I don't know what happens, obviously, with Alex and his family, but, you know, like, I really wish he would let them go, because it seems like he's just continually hurting them. But I do love that Bobby was there for Alex in that moment, because especially when you're faced with the idea of not only the dream of your planet dying, but the fact that you'd been away for so long and now your family that you abandoned is going to have to face that. I mean, the guilt that he must feel is just so heavy. So incredibly heavy. I think he felt it before, but he was happy because he was out doing things in space. And now he's like kind of faced with it, and he has to face it and digest it. And I think that that's a lot for Alex. And I'm happy to see it though, because I love these more emotional moments that we get from him. and like better acting moments from Cass, because like a lot of times he just gets to be like, hey, like he just gets to be Alex. And I like that there's a little bit more depth that we're getting from him, even if it's a little bit, but like your planet dying and the dream of your planet just going away. It's heavy. It's heavy. Now, I was shocked and pleasantly surprised that Nancy Gao, even though no one was taking the phone calls, like they're all like, hey, pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up. I love that they went to the chef and the chef made it happen. He's like, she made me. She wasn't there. You're just afraid of her. But the fact that like Nancy listened and she did what Christian suggested, like that's great, because she didn't have any other options available. And she's just like, yup, Christian knows what she's talking about. I don't know. They never like confirmed that she is dead and gone. Her ship might have just been blown somewhere and like she's in a shipwreck. I would almost assume that she would be dead, but that would be a bummer, because I would love to have seen those two women come together to save this planet. But you know what? Christian ended up saving the planet. They were able to destroy more rocks and 3 other ones it missed. But like, they had the technology to protect themselves. Now with Marco saying like, I have the protomolecule and I'll fire it at you is, pick a planet. I mean, like Mars, go attack them, sacrifice your planet, come to Earth. Like, then they don't have the protomolecule anymore and then we'll attack them. I don't think that that's how that'll work. And nor is it a good idea because you're sacrificing an entire planet. But I don't know what the other move is other than to comply with his demands. I do not believe Belters should have control over the ring gates. I feel like if you're in space and you have a planet, everyone has equal access. The fact that he's claimed that is interesting. So what do they do with the people from Earth that have already gone through the gates? What do they do with the people that are waiting to go through the gates? What do they do with the people that want to come back through the gates? Like what happens to all of the Earthers and the people from Mars? I'm insanely curious as to how that's going to work out. While I'm happy for the belt to have a stronger position in the galaxy, I'm also terrified because I feel like there's going to be a lot more bloodshed. I feel like this was just the tip of the iceberg. I feel like there's more coming and in different ways and different forms. The robot that took the protomolecule and the fact that it was Savage Industries. I know that that's like an homage to Adam Savage, but like I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching it, and I hate that it took me out, but I love that it took me out at the same time. So I'm thinking did Adam Savage design that? I feel like that's an Adam Savage design because I could totally see him in his garage tinkering, trying to put together something that could collect the protomolecule. The fact that Fred Johnson was sleeping above that is interesting. That's not where I'd put one of the most deadliest substances in the entire universe under my bed. I'm very sad that Fred is gone. I really loved Chad Coleman. I really loved him as Fred Johnson. I loved the character. I loved the actor. I wanted more of him. I did not expect him to die. The fact that we're like losing characters that like I didn't expect to lose Ashford. Well, that's a lie. Episode like 7 or 8, I was like, oh, he's gonna die probably. I didn't expect to lose Fred. And now that's 2 people that Drummer has been very closely connected to, that if she wasn't in it for revenge then, she probably is now. I don't know, like if you take out Dawes and you get the trifecta, like is she like going to rage and like strangle Marco with her own hands? I don't know. I don't know what the defense is against Marco. I don't know what it is. Appealing to his broken heart. Like maybe Naomi can talk to him and manipulate him a little bit because he seems like he's an emotional man as well. Like when he talks, he speaks with a lot of emotion. And I don't know if it's manipulation or if that's just him and he doesn't realize he's manipulating, because most of the time narcissists don't realize they're even manipulating people. It's just the way they are. But I definitely see him being more emotional than most like scary leaders, like definitely more so than Mercury. Mercury had like a couple different levels of emotion. Most of it was like anger, and then it would just climb. It like started at irritation and then went a little bit higher. And then you have Marco, who like seems like he's very heartfelt and passionate. And that's dangerous because like you can trust somebody that is heartfelt and passionate. If somebody's just a dick, then you're like, oh yeah, no, I don't like you. Bye. And Marco doesn't have that dick quality. That's a really weird term to say out loud. Dick quality. Oh, it's a new field to enter on Hinge, huh? Now, Sakai, I'm actually really mad because I was just like, I like her. Like, I was like going to point out she had like the Sherry O'Terry hair that she had in Liar Liar with like all the like stand-up braids. I really liked her as a character just because she didn't like really put up with Bull's bullshit. He's like still somebody I don't like. Maybe I can trust, maybe I can't. But I wasn't digging him, but I really liked her, and boy did I get fooled by her. I get fooled by a lot of people. I didn't see it coming, and normally I'm really good at seeing shit coming on this show, and I didn't see it. The fact that she shot and killed Fred is, I don't like you, but she's very lucky that it was Holden that was in front of her, and I said that because Holden shows mercy. Holden shows compassion. His first response isn't to hit somebody. It's not to shoot somebody. Like, violence isn't always the answer for him. Sometimes it's it's the thing that makes Holden, right? And she's very lucky that it was Holden that she was facing. Because if Drummer had been there, neck would have been snapped. And the fact that it's like Monica's like this big player, I was feeling compassion for Monica in this episode because I was like, geez, I'm terrified for her. The fact that I had two people that I did not like in season 3, that are now back in season 5, that I am feeling compassion for. We got to talk about it. I've been dreading it ever since the name Peaches was uttered and people said that they liked Peaches. So the reason why I was worried about it is because when I feel a certain way about somebody and then you give me a deeper story to them to where I start to feel compassion for them, I struggle because of how I started feeling for them. And like, no one is inherently bad and no one is inherently good. But when they start out on that direction, I'm just like, nope, no sympathy. She's a Mao. But I loved Julie. You know, I did not like that she was doing things in the name of her father and trying to fix her daddy issues and get her revenge and take out Holden, and all the chaos that she created. And click, click was not my favorite like thing about her story. And then they had that moment where he's just like, see ya, Peaches. And I was just like, ew, she's Peaches. Okay, that's interesting. And then him wanting to come see her and help her. Like, that's a big thing for Amos to even think about. And the fact that like they had that scene with him as a little boy with Lydia, and then he immediately went into, I know who I can help, and he went to go see Clarissa. One, I think that shows growth not only on Amos's part, but like that he is kind of opening up, even if it's a little bit. Like, he'll never be like crying, at least I don't think. He'll never be like crying, telling you all about his feelings. But he extended a hand and like was like, I know somebody who could use help. And he even says like, you know, people like us, and like is letting her know she's not alone, that like they're together in this, like they're the same. I feel shitty when I say this out loud because I am not a professional actress, but I did not like Nadine Nicole's portrayal of Melba, Clarissa, whatever we want to call her. I didn't think it was well acted. I don't think it was well delivered. And then I don't know if she hired an acting coach or what, but like that scene with her tears this time, I really believed it. I bought it. Like, she was happy to see Amos. She also was just like, she still hasn't forgiven herself and she doesn't think she's worthy of forgiveness. And everybody deserves forgiveness in some way, shape, or form, maybe for not everything that she's ever done. Because like, you know, he's only but a man, and like, to find everybody that you've ever wronged and ask for forgiveness, you're never going to get 100% on it, especially because she can never ask Julie for forgiveness. But I think like she needs to start trying to forgive herself. And I'm glad that they brought up the mod, because when she's just like, you know, it'd probably do more damage than it would good, I'm like, yeah, I agree. That is a stupid place for a button. I am never going to leave it alone. The dumbest place you could ever put a button. Just like, that would have worked fine. Like, you know, like she wears a little like Star Trek badge and it's like, doo doo. Like that would have been so much better. But click click in the roof of the mouth, like dumb. It's so stupid. I'm never gonna leave it alone. Get off me. But it was really interesting how I was like very much against feeling any compassion whatsoever. And I was like, okay, open heart, open mind, open heart, open mind, open heart, open mind. Okay, okay, okay. You can do this. You can do this. And it took a fraction of a fucking second for me to go, oh. Oh, if I were a carpet, you would walk all over me. I'm really interested now too, because the explosions that happen on Earth, the repercussions of that. I mean, not only do we not know really, and I don't know if we know this, you guys might know this, but if Nancy Gao is actually dead, do we hear from Arjun? Is he okay? The fact that it hit so close to New York, as soon as they said, well, they showed Chesapeake Penitentiary, I was like, uh-oh. And then when it like shook after the hit, thankfully they're underground. I don't know if that helped necessarily or if it was just a shockwave that they were hit with. But the fact that it hit close to Pennsylvania, close to Philadelphia, which means it's close to New York, I'm terrified for Arjun. I'm terrified for Christian to find out something bad about Arjun. God, that'd be horrible if that was like their last moments together were contentious like that. That breaks my heart. But I'm very curious, the death toll that has occurred. I know it's millions. But what a statement. What an incredible statement that was. I mean, there's no way to argue that what he did was okay and then what he did was right. No matter what way you try to defend it. I think somebody like Marco has a very limited lifespan. And he's going to do as much as he can because he knows that as well. Like, you don't get to wreak havoc like this and live to tell the tale. At least I don't think so. I think that's my hopeful brain. Not that I hope to like see him die, but like I think it's inevitable that somebody as dark and ominous and destructive and passionate as he is, I don't think you last long. I'm like, now I'm like, it's only episode 4. I'm like, who killed Marco? I don't even know if Marco dies, you know, but like I could see, you know, Naomi doing it out of an act of, you know, passion of just like, I have to stop this. I could see Holden doing it out of an act of passion. I don't know about Amos. Amos is normally my go-to guy for killing, but I don't know until he's like personally offended by Marco. I don't know what he would do. Like maybe if Marco did something to Naomi. But then I'm just like, does Christian drop a rock on him? Like, and it's, again, I hate speculating about that stuff. Like, oh, somebody's going to die, because I thought for sure somebody was going to kill Murtry. Nope. Nothing satisfying about that, but like still got the satisfaction of like Amos with like the blood in his mouth, like the scary eyes. But you know, it's just Marco, man. Marco's gotta be stopped. Again, great character. Great actor. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. So charismatic. Oh my God. I wanted to just like stare at his face and touch his hair and been like, will you smile at me? Because you're just beautiful. Are any of you surprised? Come on. Okay, guys, if you want to see the full-length reaction to this episode, it will be available on my Patreon and up to 2 episodes early. Whoo! These episodes are so good. Like, we're so spoiled by this show. And I know that I said, like, season 4 wasn't that great, and I could see why most people don't like it. When you're saying that it's the least liked out of the most amazing show you've ever witnessed, it's like, it's still like, you know, 1 out of 6 of the most amazing seasons of television I've ever watched. So there's that. Yeah, I don't even know what questions to ask. I guess the one that's like on the tip of my tongue was, how did you react when you heard, well, Red screaming Firehawk? Like, what was your immediate reaction? Like, were you just kind of like, oh, that's nice? Or were you just like, yeah? Because I was so excited. I was so excited. And I've been blowing out my mic when I yell, so I apologize if it did get blown out. I won't know until I rewatch it and everything, but my mic tends to not like my high-pitched voice when I scream. So whatever. It's brand new. It's beautiful. It's just, if you guys know the settings for microphones, let me know. I use OBS to record. Help a girl out. But other than that, like, subscribe, leave me a comment down below. Like I said, how did you react to Screaming Firehawk? Because now I want one. I've got a Rocinante. Now I want a Screaming Firehawk. I almost said Razorback. Either way, no matter what it says on it, I think it's still a cool freaking ship. Although it kind of looks like a badminton thing. Just a little bit. Okay, I think I'm losing control of this ship. I gotta go. Oh my God, I love this show. I love this show so much. This season, even though it's on episode 4, it's turning out to be jaw-dropping. There's so many times that my jaw has dropped. And there's so many times that I have been shocked and I didn't see things coming. And it's only episode 4. Oh my God. So good. Okay, guys. With that being said, I will see you in the next one. Bye.